Yeah, I'm just glad to be here. But yeah, I'm Mario. What else you want to know?
That's it. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's it. All right.
My name is Bubba.
Yeah, buddy.
That's how we doing it. That's how we gonna start it. Crazy work.
I'm naming
Yeah,
it. I don't
buddy.
know why Danielle asked me and Mario, but hey, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So I asked y'all because when I think about who assists me in being who I am now and where I'm at, like in my walk, not just spiritually, but like how I mature in life, I thought of you too. So that's why I asked y'all.
Dope.
Okay.
How
The
sweet.
icebreaker. Yeah, that's it. Y'all not gonna get no more of that. As the icebreaker, I wanted to discuss the mature me. So, what does decision look like for the mature me and where you are in life right now?
I go first. You know what? I thought about this thing. Um, the decision that you said, the decision that matured me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought about this thing a little bit earlier, and I think a lot of times we get decisions and choices mixed up.
Mm.
Decisions and choices, two different things. I think the choice
Well, I love what he was saying.
I do too. He dropped
Decisions
some.
and choices, though. That thing's strong. I like that. That sounds like my Bible class in April or something like that. Did you see this on Facebook Live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I see us. It's a delay.
Okay.
Um. So till Mario get back, Pastor, go ahead and fill your part.
Oh, man, so I've made like a lot of decisions in life, and a lot of them was bad, and some of them were favorable. What I have learned is just having the grace of God with every decision allows me to to operate into who I am and what I've become and what I'm becoming. So yeah, that's been my walk, in decision
I
making.
can't hear nobody.
Can you hear us now, Mario?
Got my elder back here.
No, no.
But yeah, we outside making decisions.
Yep. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Tell the Jones come back. Um,
Got my elder back here.
what's one decision in your life that helped you grow up? And was that decision easy, or did you have to wrestle with it?
I'm sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
I'm
can you
sorry.
hear
My
us?
wife was calling me, knocked me out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Pastor, you can't hear us. Mario, you can finish up your question. The
Oh,
first icebreaker.
oh, oh, he can't hear us.
Log off and come back in.
Yeah, he might have to go out and come back in. Tell him go out and come back in. Tell him, tell him go
I
out and
am.
come back in.
Okay, go ahead and answer your
All
question.
right. So, we have there's a big difference between decisions and choices. Decisions, I mean, choices are normally rooted in what we believe. It's a belief system, but choices, I mean, decisions, um, I would like to think, and this is just how I think, decisions are often connected to your destiny. And so, um, the decision for me that matured me, honestly, was marriage. Um,
Okay.
getting married, for before prior to being married, I'm, single, living my best life, you know what I mean? But actually settling down and saying, hey, um, being who you are, you can't live this single life too long. You know what I mean? I wanted number one, I wanted to live right and please God. And I couldn't do that being single and fornicating all over the city, So and that's not the reason why that's ultimately not the reason why I got married. I actually loved my wife, which compelled me to marry her. But um it matured me a whole lot because, as y'all know, I became a husband, I became a father, and I became a grandfather all within 1 year.
Right.
So I was like on an accelerated course of maturity. So and through it all, I thank God, man. I wouldn't change nothing for the world, man. It's gotten me to, being a married man, you think differently. When you're the head of your household and you have to, think about more than just yourself. You know what I mean? You got a wife, you got children. You know what I mean? I'm used to coming home and looking staring at the ceiling for about 30 to 45 minutes. There ain't none of that no more. Everybody got a question or somebody want to talk. So, those things, they stretch you. And one thing I want to say is decisions decisions are they don't become challenging until they challenge your comfort zone.
Right.
When decisions challenge where you are as far as in your comfort zone, that's how you know God is stretching you. Because a lot of times we make decisions that ain't got nothing to do with God. But when it's a God thing, that thing kind of bothers you. It'll punch at you. You know what I mean? So decisions aren't difficult until your comfort zone is challenged.
Okay, and I heard you say that marriage was a decision that helped you grow. Now, was that an easy decision to come to when you decided you wanted to marry Cookie, or was that something that you wrestled with?
Oh no, that was an easy decision for me. Hey, I didn't have to wrestle. I didn't have to wrestle at all. It was just something, when you got a made up mind, as the old folks say in the Baptist church, when you got a made up mind, you'll go ahead and do that thing. You know what I mean? My mind was made up. You know what I mean? I didn't waver in that decision at all. So yeah, it wasn't I didn't have to wrestle with it at all.
So, Pastor, what was the one decision that helped you grow up, and was it easy or something you had to wrestle with?
For me, I can't say it was one decision.
Ooh, we can't hear you.
We can hear him.
Oh,
For me, I have to say it wasn't
I
one
can't hear him. Go
decision.
ahead.
I have to say that it was multiple decisions. For my whole life, I've been a leader. From 6 years old, everything I did was connected to leadership. So I will say my decision had to be like, okay, God, this is where you want me to be. I'll do what you want me to do. Not just pastoring, but being a PK from basketball to music, everything I was involved in, I was a leader. So my decision to lead will have to be the biggest decision in my life because it led me to my wife, my family, my church, and I'm grateful for that.
Okay, so we're gonna do Pastor first. Have you ever known the right thing to do, but you still try to do it your own way?
Yeah, all the time as a pastor, all the time, because the more that parishioners and that I govern over, the more I try to include or um, consider those that serve with me. but it could be tremendously difficult. It's because, yeah, I know the right thing to do, but because of those connections, a lot of times it could be done the wrong way, said the wrong way, carried out the wrong way. But what I try to do is, and you know me well, I try to live with my decision and try to go from there.
So doing it that way, what has that cost you? Like, has that cost you something?
Cost me everything. It cost me friends. It cost definitely has cost me family. Um, I'm an acquired taste, so to be close to me is a responsibility because I'm
True.
not a I'm not a. You're not going to know everything that's on my mind. I am um I'm an inward thinker, and I try to consider like everybody. So in that, it has cost me a lot because of sometimes trying to do the right thing and make the right decision. Sometimes I have to be quiet.
So I hear you say that you have to be quiet. So like I'm in the process of learning that silence is not like a bad thing. So in those moments of quiet and stillness, like what's transpiring? Because for me, silence used to be like a punishment. Like I did, like I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong, and that's kind of like what a lot of people they don't understand that the stillness and the quiet is very important, especially when you're trying to hear from God.
Yeah, so my quietness comes from understanding everybody can't see what I see. When Abraham was told to sacrifice his son, everybody couldn't go to that part. So actually, he took two lads of a boy and a donkey with him so far, and then when he had to go farther, he only took him and Isaac that was on the assignment. So sometimes just being quiet kind of means that God is dealing with me. Not that I'm trying to exclude anybody. That sometimes God is dealing with me, and sometimes what He showed me, I can't share with nobody else. So in that, that's my decision. And sometimes I may look bad in that, but sometimes it's better for me to look bad than to make a catastrophic decision. It's because I want to be liked and
That makes sense. So, like Mario, when you're in your like, what's your process when making a decision that could either affect yourself or, like you mentioned earlier, when it's not just you anymore?
Um, you know what? My process is simply number one, I don't make impulse decisions. I am the type of person I like to look at a situation from every angle. And sometimes that takes time. And sometimes you gotta fully assess the situation before you make a decision. And so with me, um, obviously I'm always prayerful. Um, I lay before God and say, hey God, I need a sign, I need something. But by the time I make my decision, I can say usually my spirit is settled. I always ask God to God settle my spirit in my decision, and usually that's when I know I've made the right decision because my spirit is settled and I'm not troubled after I've made the decision. Anytime I tell people all the time, if you're still troubled after you made the decision, you might want to go back
That's
and
it.
holler at God about it. You know what I'm saying? Because when we take the time to pray and lay before God and wait long enough for Him to speak to us, by the time you make your decision, your spirit should be settled. And so that's pretty much my process, man. I don't, like I said, I don't make hasty decisions. I don't make impulse decisions. I like to, look at all sides of the coin, before I make a decision. And certain decisions are just difficult. I mean, um,
my God.
in reality, there are going to be times where you do make decisions where your spirit ain't settled. You just gotta faith that thing. To be honest with you, you just gotta faith that thing out. I don't run up on too many of those times, to be honest with you, but when I do, it's a faith thing at that point because a lot of times um, things are not going to be clear.
Right.
God is not going to make everything plain from A to Z sometimes he wants you to trust him
Right.
in making your when you make your decision. So sometimes you gotta faith that thing out. I always pray, Lord, don't let me have to go in that situation. I need you to speak clearly, but He don't all the time. That's
Yeah.
the reality of it. Anybody that follows God can attest to what I'm saying. Sometimes the decisions that you make, you be like, I'm just trusting God on this one. You know what I'm saying? But normally, 95% of the time, I make sure that my spirit is settled before I make the decision. It may take some time. It may take me, talking to people in my inner circle, um, getting different insights and things of that nature. But for the most part, after I've had all the conversations, I go back to God and say, God, I need to hear from you on this.
Right.
And when He does speak, good. When He don't, I just gotta faith it out.
So, Pastor, I see you shaking your head in agreement. So, like in those difficult decision moments, like what is your process?
Well, I'm glad Elder Jones said that because, like, I'm in a season where most of my decisions are difficult and
Mm-hmm.
are unclear right now. But in the role that I play, I understand it. My process is, as Elder Jones said, is to make sure you stay prayerful, and I do pretty good. When I put some in God's hands, I'm pretty good at leaving it there. I'm really good at that. So I try to make sure that once it's there, that I don't go back and try to intervene or try to speed up. Many of you know I had a major decision in taking over Trinity. That wasn't easy for me. Um, Trinity had an opportunity to pick somebody else, and I had an opportunity to pick another church at the same time. Many people didn't know that. Um, because of certain situations may look easier, that doesn't mean that that's the decision to make because it's easy. So just staying mindful of who I am and what God wants me to do.
That's great. So both of y'all have assisted me in making some tough decisions or seeing things in a different light. So like if it was somebody out there like me who not so much rebellious but kind of strong willed.
Rebellious,
Well,
Rebellious.
no. I wouldn't say I'm rebellious.
I think that was the greatest
hard
word.
headed.
You was rebellious.
No.
You was rebellious when I took over Trinity.
So no. Oh, we
Let's
going
go.
there?
Let's
I
go.
listen.
So no, that's
Listen.
different.
I'm
Let's
telling
go.
y'all, listen, y'all. I'm taking over for a second. Listen, y'all out there, listen.
You can't take
Let me
over
tell you
for
something.
a
I love God brought Danielle into my life for a reason that is still not clear in this at this moment. But let me just say this. Danielle, there are times where I question if I really hear from God, you know, and talking and praying with
I
Danielle, there's
apologize for
times
that.
where she make me question if I really hear from him. You
I
know what I'm saying?
apologize for that
But
though.
but sometimes, and this is where you gotta have one of them fruits of the spirit, that long suffering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because some folk ain't gonna get it when you want them to get it.
Yeah.
Some folk got to go through the process.
That don't make them rebellious
No,
though.
you rebellious. You rebellious.
No. So like rebellious is somebody that go against what you say like on purpose. I'm not going against what y'all say on purpose. Like I'm not doing it because you told me. I'm not doing it because you told me to do it. It just I hear what you're saying, but I be on something else.
Well, see,
Rebellious.
yeah, yes, see, your spirit is all kind and loving right now, but this ain't how you be when you are rebellious. This ain't how you act. This ain't how you move. So you smiling right now and perky because this is your show. But you know what I'm saying. But when we dealing with you in your rebellion, huh?
I'm
There are
trying to figure out what identified me as being rebellion because I challenge, I ask questions like
No,
I don't even in my other state, I don't see myself as being rebellious.
of course you don't.
of course you don't. But what I'm saying is, as a confidant of mine, I feel like that if I'm making a God move, out of all the people that is in my camp, I shouldn't be challenged by the ones that I trust, that I give privileged information to. So I took that as rebellion is because you didn't understand it. So you used to me explaining things to you. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't explain this to Mario, Bobby, or nobody else. This was a move that God told me to make. And all I'm saying is sometimes, I don't know about y'all, sometimes you put in those scenarios. For me, yes, my decision affects way more people than others, but that's how it was received. But we've overcame it because I'm on the show now.
Yeah, after you did what you did, though,
Yeah.
you got me back.
Thanks to Mario having an event. God bless his heart.
Horrible. That is still talked about to this day.
Yeah. Well, hey,
That is
that's how I
terrible.
express myself. I never said nothing. Jesus never said nothing to Judas. He never said nothing. So
He
that's
didn't
how
put him on the sweater either.
said again. Said
He
again.
didn't put him on the sweater either.
You don't know what he did while he was on that cross. And resurrection is coming up. You don't know what I'm preaching. You don't know what.
That is terrible. So back
Classic.
to the original question. When you're talking to people like me, how do you get them to see, that they're because for me, I didn't realize what I did or said affected so many people. And like me and Mario recently had a conversation about that, and I ended up texting you that I was sorry because like just because I get over it or I move past it, the damage had already been done, and seed had been planted, and some people don't get over stuff as fast as you do. So before that kind of damage happens, like how can we get people to understand that they decision, even though they feel like they in that moment they have that right, because this is a season where everybody feel like they can say what they want to say. They have a right to feel how they feel. But at the same time, when we're in this life, we have to be considerate of other people. So
I
how do we
think
help them get there before the damage get done?
I think like well, and I mean like for example in your instance, um, and I'm pretty sure Pastor Naamon has told you this 100 times. When you're a leader, your decisions not they just don't affect just you. Your decisions affect everybody around you. So that's the gift and the curse with being a leader, because you can't make decisions based off your feelings. That's the one of the most difficult things for a lot of people, making decisions out of their feelings versus making a sound decision that is right or versus wrong. You know what I mean? We can't make decisions out of our feelings a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it as well. As a leader, as a husband, my decisions just don't affect me. They affect my wife. They affect my children. And so when you know that, you really, make more wise decisions. Or you say, listen, let me chill for a second. Let me pause and let me understand how my decision is going to affect everybody else around me. And let's be honest, a lot of times we don't think about other folks when we making certain decisions. But when you are in ministry and when you are a leader, when you lead something or somebody, your decisions affect everybody around you. So I'm always mindful, especially now. Um, God, I don't want to mess this thing up. I don't want to cause somebody else to fall or to get hurt based off a decision that I made.
Right.
So I'm real and I'm very passionate about that. That's why I don't make impulse decisions. I gotta consider everything and everybody around me. When I'm making decisions. So I tell people, take your time. Hear from God. Consider all the cards on the table. You know what I'm saying? When you making your decisions, because a lot of times, and it's natural, we make decisions selfishly. We don't consider the people that could potentially be hurt by the
Right.
decisions that we make. And that's the most dangerous thing. when we're making decisions, we got to consider everybody from the greatest to the least. We gotta consider everybody in every decision that we make, because again, it's not about us. You know what I mean? So just from a personal standpoint, I would tell somebody, hey, take your time, don't make any hasty decisions, consider all your cards that's on the table before you make that decision. And when you make that decision, be confident in it. In those times when you can be, you know what I mean? In those other times, you gotta let your faith be activated. You know what I mean? In those times where God ain't speaking, let your faith be activated in that moment. And yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Pastor, you got something else to say?
Well, you said somebody like you. Number one, there's nobody like you.
So in my defense, like not okay, I accept I messed up, right? I apologize to quite a few people and y'all. But when we first came to Trinity, I didn't feel like a leader. So a lot of times, like at Bread, I knew it affected people. But again, there I had to grow into that role too. My first lesson was it wasn't fair. And then the next one was I had to learn how to deliver because I was too brutally honest. I didn't care how it came out. So like it was even lessons in that. So once I'm aware, I definitely do better. But when we first transitioned, I didn't know my place here. So it didn't feel like what I did or said would have that type of effect. But once I realized it,
Okay,
got the
so
fit.
so the people that you had influence over were the people at Bread. So if you felt any certain type of way, I felt like you should have just kept it to yourself. I never asked Mario, Bobby, Tanya, Elder Pat, just for example, just throwing out names. I never asked anybody to agree with me on
Right.
anything that I do. Matter of fact, if everybody agrees with what I'm doing, now we're a cult, right? So I'm more concerned of cult behavior than anything else. What I'm saying is, we're talking about decisions. What happens when none of your choices are good?
Right.
What happens? It doesn't mean that you got a great decision and a bad decision. Sometimes the Lord will allow you to be in between the rock and the hard place. And the Bible says, go to the rock. But sometimes in the weeds, it can get confusing. What's the hard place and what's the rock? I'm saying, trust me to find the rock, because I'm always going to go to the rock. But while we in the weeds, yes. But when we talk about the children of Israel always had a decision on what direction to go. That's how you know that God got his hands on you, is because you're never stuck. The problem is when he moved, and as Elder Mario said, the problem is you became uncomfortable because now your role ain't defined. Well, Danielle, I never defined your role at Brother Life. I don't define roles as a leader. Those of you that serve under me, it's very seldom that I'm going to go take Mario out to eat. Mario, this is your role. Danielle, you grow into your role, and then I push you farther into your. Now, that's my particular style of leadership. I'm just using this for an example as far as the decisions that we make. You might have felt, as Mario said, you in your emotions.
Right.
So when you dealing with your emotions, then sometimes we make bad decisions. The acronym is HALT. Never make decisions when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. None of those. It ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna work out well. So yeah, that'll be my answer. But I believe that you've came a long way.
Thank you. So we do got some people tuning in. We got our Tanya, Cookie, Neek. Hey y'all. Cookie agreed with the rebellious. I don't like that.
Mm.
But yeah. So we'll do a little bit of audience participation. If anybody had any questions, like if it was a decision that you had to make in one word, what was that decision that you had to make, and what did it cost you?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I was like, so in bringing in the audience, I asked them it was a decision in one word that they had to make, a tough one, and then what did it cost them? You guys answered that already.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna get them a minute to respond.
Hey, everybody in the comments.
What up?
I can't really see nobody. No.
You don't see it on your Facebook page?
Well, I'm on here, the stream yard.
Oh,
I'm trying to look.
Cornelius, our pastor. How you doing, Cornelius?
Family, what's up?
Tanya said I have grown.
I agree. But grown from what? My God.
I mean, yeah, your
Don't
head
do
has
that.
gotten a little
You
bigger.
always talking about I'm terrible.
Yeah. When
Your
you
head
upset,
has gotten a
That's
little
okay.
bigger.
Lady D
I
makes me
would say
feel
that.
better. Hey, Christian.
that's her role.
It is. She does make me feel better. Christian said we know Pastor Naamon didn't want to be pastor, but he still said yes.
I didn't. And I think that's something that I never desired this and still don't.
So, Tasha, I don't really understand your question. She put, is there a choice? It's not good for you. If it's good for them, then it's their life. It's their choice.
She's talking to me or she's
Mm,
making a statement.
She's
um,
making a statement.
Okay.
can she like
Oh,
expound on that a little bit? I think I
yeah, I
know
did
what
tell
she.
her yeah, Tasha, can you let us know what you was meaning? My godson said he left his job and it cost him stability.
Yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, it ultimately can, especially when you're making a choice that affects your financial decisions. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. But I mean, the question becomes: did God tell you to do that, or is that just something that you know what I'm saying? You just got tired of doing. You said, "Look, I quit." You know, did you walk in wisdom when you made that decision? Did you know? And that's another thing. Wisdom is key, man. When we
Yeah.
making choices and we making decisions, you know, ask for God's wisdom in making your decision. You know what I mean? I think that's what's missing um in a lot of our decisions, the wisdom of God. You know what I mean? Like, my mom used to always say common sense ain't all that common.
True. I got in trouble for saying that though. People
Yeah,
think,
I mean it's the truth. Common sense ain't all that common. So, ask God for wisdom in making your decision, man, because you don't want to be out here looking goofy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Absolutely.
go ahead, Pastor. What was you gonna say?
One of the biggest decisions in the Bible came from Solomon, from two mothers who was claiming that was their baby. What he said out of his mouth may have sound bizarre, but he knew what he was doing. So in leadership, those who knew Solomon was wise should have trusted Solomon, or Solomon is on something, or Solomon really finna split this baby up in half.
Right.
Solomon knew that the real mother would stand up and say, no, give it to the other. So a lot of things, when you have to make decisions in leadership or marriage or whatever, it's not who's right, but it's what's right.
Right.
And I'm trying to live by that. But in this culture of,
Right.
we're living in a culture of me. I didn't grow up in this culture in the church of me. So we're living in a me type of thing right now. So it's hard. It's difficult to pastor a me season. It's difficult to pastor that. It's because real will tell you that there are questions that we were not allowed to ask. How dare you?
Right.
Now it's just wide open. So in the decision process, for me, comes that. Okay, I know this is going to be said. I know that's going to come, but it's not who's right. It's still what's right.
Cookie Monster says she left her unhealthy marriage, and look at her now. That's Elder Jones' wife. Kristen says
Hey, boo.
Kristen said she choose to follow Christ no matter what, choosing obedience over sacrifice. That's a good one. Um, it took me a minute to learn that obedience piece because a lot of times when being obedience is something you don't want to do.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
But that don't mean your prayers wasn't working.
Obey. Just obey. Make it easy on everybody.
Yeah, but in leadership, everybody gonna watch how you serve and how you obey. It's because there's gonna come a time where you have to give direction. So it just can't be do what I say, but you can't listen to nobody else and do something that you really didn't want to do. The truth of the matter is, if we talking ministry, we don't say this enough, but ministry is sacrifice. Sacrifice your ego, sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your treasures, your money, your time, your effort. It is sacrifice. So when it comes to that, it can, don't get me wrong, it can be difficult. But one of the reasons why I'm coaching to this day is so my church can see how I serve, even when, because how can I say it? Even when the congregation don't believe I get the just due from the organization that I serve in. I try to show them I don't care. And I really don't. It's because I've learned this. I've learned this. The more your name is put into the atmosphere, the more witchcraft is looking for you. Real talk.
When it is that leadership is always difficult and everybody can't do it. Nick said,
Facts.
Nick said taking hits when needing to transition out of a particular ministry. It cost her family and friends. The individual tried to put people she mentored to stop connecting to her. God, of course, confirmed her steps and she had to learn the things God called her to do. People will not understand, and it may even put me in a place to be particularly demonized by people. You just said that though, Pastor. Like when you called it to leadership, and your name becomes a name that the enemy fears, you become under attack. So that was confirmation in real time.
Facts.
Uh, Serena said, obedience is not always easy, but it will elevate you while you're pleasing God.
Absolutely. Let's be honest. Obedience ain't always comfortable to your flesh.
Absolutely. The act of obedience is when you're obeying and you don't want to. Many, if I ask Mario to do something that he wants to do, Mario, I need you to meet me at the Bulls game or the Bears game. Is that really obedience? He wants to go.
Right.
You understand? So certain things in what we would classify as obedience, some of those things we want to do. What happens when we have to operate in the act of obedience and do something that we literally don't want to do? And Danielle, in your case, in our past, you didn't want to do or you don't understand. It's because you would like to have an understanding, right? I
Right.
I get it. But when it comes down to ministry, I am telling you, it is hard to have a 100% understanding, especially in this season. Back in the day, Mario will tell you, we would just say, okay, I'm doing what I told. I'm just doing what I'm told. We didn't understand it then. But I will say this, Danielle. When you're able to act in obedience, it will stretch you in your own vision as a husband, as a wife, as a it's because the same thing when I word I've used for you with you before, Danielle, is when you have to become submissive. I'm submissive to Bishop Walker.
Right.
Do I agree with everything he do? No. And he knows it. Do I believe that the ministerial staff agree with everything I do? No. But do I appreciate them saying, all right, man, because this is one thing I learned in church. Everybody get a chance to lead. You'll see. That's what I'm gonna leave y'all with. You'll see.
That's why I try to be a better follower so that if I did end up with somebody like me, I'd be okay.
No, you wouldn't make it.
I
No,
don't know. So it's pros and cons to me.
you couldn't lead you.
You
No
don't say.
way. No way.
I'm a good person to have. Pastor Evans said everybody need a Danielle.
Yes. And I'm sure
You
Pastor
come in handy.
Yes. And if Pastor Evans spent any extensive time with you and look under the hood, he will understand what I'm saying.
Not under the hood.
The car may look good.
So I'm not saying you ain't put in a lot of work, but I'm saying your work paying off.
Danielle, I'm hard on you because of your future.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So before we close, I will give you guys an opportunity to share with like anything that you guys have coming up in the events and how people can get in contact with you guys.
Nobody want to get in contact with me.
You just said a whole lot on tonight. And you in Bible class. They might want to get the Bible.
I mean, who am I? You know what I mean?
On Facebook, Mario Jones, Pastor.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, let me speak for Mario Jones. He'll be emceeing that my anniversary on April.
All right.
I don't even know the day. I think it's the 5th. No, April 26th. He'll be the afternoon MC. We have Superintendent Maurice Fears, who will be our speaker. So I'll be celebrating 11 years of in this.
I'm getting all 11.
That's tough. I think I right there. I think right there. But it's been an amazing ride, and thanks to people like Danielle who have dealt with me in my bad decisions, good decisions, in between. I want to say thank you. I want to say this though, Danielle, because when it comes down to decisions, sometimes a decision has to be made. Period. I'm not a leader that I'm not gonna make the decision.
Right.
Do it come off well all the time? No, but sometimes you are under a clock with some of these decisions. Mm-hmm. So in that, I try to do my best and I live with the punches. But let me say this: even in my worst decisions, I've still learned some of the best lessons of my life. In my worst decisions, that people who came after you, Danielle, I was able to have a leg up that I could even pastor on a swifter transition is because I've learned from my mistakes. I'm saying that those of you that listen to me, learn from your bad mistakes. It's just not I did that, and I know, learn from it. And we say this all the time at Trinity. We don't lose, we learn.
Right. That's a good one to end on. And just something for the audience to think about, like what decision might your life be asking you to make differently right now? And if you made that, how much better would that make your life? So of course, what we talked about tonight, this is real life for me. This isn't just theory. If tonight's conversation blessed you, From Manager to Missionary is available. Yeah. It's a full testimony of choosing differently when it wasn't easy. You can grab it on Amazon or message me directly and I can get that to you. And again, we have our website up and running, DanielleDickersonTraylor.com. And I'm in the way I only know how, and that's with prayer. So God, we thank you for being a God, for being amazing and awesome. We thank you, God, that you give us a choice, that you allow us to mess up. You allow us to make our decisions. But when we fall, you are right there to catch us, oh God. So we thank you for catching us. We thank you for keeping us. We thank you that when we seek you, we find you. We thank you that when we act first, like your word says, acknowledge you in all our ways and you shall direct our path. So God, help us to acknowledge you, to ask you before we make our next move. Because when you add it, it adds no sorrow. So God, we just thank you for being amazing and awesome. And we ask that you continue to cover us, continue to lead us, continue to guide us, and help us to choose differently and to choose you above all. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen. Thank you guys for tuning in. This will be posted on our YouTube channel. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Elder Mario. Y'all wasn't as bad as I thought y'all was going to be.
Where Bubba? Nuh-uh.
We gone on that note. Love y'all.
We can keep going now.